Just do Control 0 here, yeah. Alright, so welcome back to another Dimensions video. I was kind of curious to see the environment light. So with environment light, you can actually make the entire environment dark by doing that, and then you can just add more lights. Let's take a look. Actually, isn't there, I think there's a category here, right? Go to category, put a directional light, and let's have a look. Click this button, aim light at point. That's pretty cool. I wonder if we put a shape in the middle of that. Let's try that instead. So we'll just put a. What should we put in front of it? Should we just put like one singular massive letter? Let's try this. We'll go Bodoni. I think it's just I don't know why it takes so long to load sometimes. And then we're just going to do a capital. What's the most common? I think M is the most M is the most popular letter for some reason. I don't know why. And we'll make it bold, and we'll make it obviously much bigger than this. Actually, that's not so spacing. We'll make it much bigger. I'll give it a little. Yeah, I think to be honest, sometimes you can just do that. Just turn on the bevel, and that's enough. So if I place this somewhere around. So we now look at environment light. We turn that off. I'm kind of curious to see now what happens if we put the lighting in. So you get quite a few options with it. Just actually make sure we can try and see it a bit more bit differently. It's actually a very good color for something like this. Wow, look at that. That's kind of an interesting effect. You can actually position it exactly where we wanted it as well. I guess you could just, I mean, you can do it manually. It's easier just to position it like properly, right? So you can do some interesting stuff with that. The bevel looks really weird like that, doesn't it? I can see why M is such a popular letter. It's very, very interesting. You can also do like, let me just see this one. This is interesting. There's a lot of stuff you can do with images in this program. Let's see what that does. I think this is what this is doing is it's giving you like a scene of what it's like in like the out in the one of the things you could try is if you do make it glossy, right? You know what else you can do? I think you can do a glowing light as well. Or can I just make any shape? I think you can make anything glow if I'm not mistaken. Let me just check this. Right, so I could just make this wall glow. Yeah, let's not make that glow though. Let's get another shape. Let's make it glow. You may need to put this on. I think I put it at a quarter, yeah. Yeah, wow, yeah. Yeah, that is certainly glowing, isn't it? Oh, I didn't even know you could do this with cylinders. You get like a Toblerone. There we go. That's what I could title this. How to make a Toblerone. That is cool though. That's an interesting shape, isn't it? Actually, no, sorry. I want to do this one. This is quite an interesting shape, actually. It reminds me just like the first thing I thought is just when you go to like a massive concert and they have like big walls of loudspeakers on the ground. That might be an interesting. Yeah, it's kind of interesting. I'm just trying to think like. Because if you do this now, if you actually. Wow. That's kind of amazing. Oh, wait, it's not rendering. Is it? There you go. I don't know. I wonder if you can actually use. Weirdly, it only renders at certain angles. I guess because I can't see the light from here, you have to actually have access to. I guess that must be it. It's kind of interesting. Yeah, you see, it's definitely rendering there. If I go underneath, even if I go a slight bit underneath, it doesn't render at all. Okay. Now there was another button actually I wanted to check. Let's see if I can find it. There's convert to standard model. Yeah, one of the other things that is I'm trying to just I'm just trying to remember like there's like certain things that are I'm just trying to think. You can get some very interesting effects. Translucence I didn't look at. This is going to be like, just look at random things which I haven't looked at yet. But I wanted to check this one out, number 7. Yeah, number 7 is cool. Because what I believe it does is it changes the field of view. You can get much better effects like this. Yeah. What's the other thing? I'm trying to remember. There's something to do with export UV. See if I can. So if I just select, let me just. So this, I believe, I've already tried doing this before. Okay, so when you export a UV, looks like you exported the front and the back. This is something which I think is going to be. This is probably a little bit too difficult for me at this stage. So it's probably why I decided I'm going to move on from this program. Well, not forever, but what I think you can do, right, is if you have like a composite object, you can make it so that, like, say, like light flowing through that object will be different depending on the texture. It's a little bit too complicated for me to understand at my level, but we'll move back. We'll come back to this another time, and I might even point this bit out. But this is probably a little bit much for me now. I'm trying to think. Also, I'm just trying to think like what else. I think I've kind of actually covered a lot of the stuff. Like obviously there was stuff like if you have a standard model. Where did you put the image on again? I can't remember that bit. So yeah, with standard models, you could just place graphics on. So for instance, I could put this flower on there. This is pretty straightforward stuff. Where is the M being? No. It's kind of interesting placing it in such an odd scene, but let's just go real into it, maybe. So you've got the choice here. This is something else I haven't shown yet. You've got the choice between placement of decal and the fill. And you can also you can change the scale. Interesting. I'm not actually sure what happens if you then select something like this. Let's press number 7 again, maybe try and get a better spot here. Let's just try being in this position here. Let's change that to fill. Right, well, yeah, with fill you can do a repeat. Yeah, you can, and here you can change the number of repeats. So if I wanted to have multiple of this image, you can't go below 1 though, can you? Oh, you can. Interesting. Scaling's really interesting. But yeah, I mean, and that is essentially it. And then I like that. Yeah, but what you're supposed to do is in the Photoshop stuff is you have the UV. If you wanted, say, a certain section of this image, let's you make it more visible. Oh yeah, one more thing actually that maybe I didn't quite show yet. If we get rid of all the lighting again, can we just get rid of all the lights? What you can do, let's go back to the lighting again. I'm trying to remember. Just trying to remember like everything that I. Was that really all there is in lighting? Unless you literally put the sun in, which is kind of funny. Yeah, what I'd like to, I think if I just had like the ground plane, I could make it so that the glossiness of the texture would actually reflect the clouds, and that's why it says cloudiness. But there's actually a bunch. Just to finish this off, just because I'm probably not going to talk about this program for a little while at least. Yeah, there's just so much. I don't know. Honestly, like one of these is substance, right? Isn't there like subs? No. What do you get in the category there? Toggle list grid view. Just, I mean, there's so much stuff that it already that just drops. The standard materials, I think they always have like. Let's just turn the rendering off for a minute. Standard material is always going to have like the same little bunch of options. I think standard material is always going to have translucent. So standard materials always have translucence, and then the roughness and metallic glow, all that stuff. But if you go to the other ones at the bottom, the substance materials, because this is a different program, these ones are much more advanced. That's the sort of thing that I understand. So, for instance, if I went for like ceramic tiles on this board here, they have more categories. That's basically it. So you can see technical. So I can change the hue. I can change the. And these are all going to be like unique, from what I understand. I think you can change the repeat value as well, right? So this is a way if you wanted to get like brickwork. There might actually be. I'm not sure if does that replace? It does replace. And actually, it looks like Substance also have a. They have different ones, but I think they're all the same as each other, right? So all the Substance are the same, all the Standard are the same. And I've certainly had certain areas where it's like can't do that. Oh no, I'm completely wrong. Yeah, these have got a bunch. There's like a bunch of different stuff. I could make a whole video, like easily. I could probably make 2 videos on this, just because there's so much on it. I wonder if we. This is a difficult to see effect. I wonder if there's a way we can see it. Oh, this is a cool one. But yeah, obviously there's stuff like fabric. Like if you just look at it, you can sort of. I'm trying to think like if we had a light, I think you can sort of place the light here. Wow. But anyway, yeah, I mean, so that is essentially, yeah, I mean, I've really looked at a large amount of like the only thing I didn't look at was maybe camera views and stuff. So for instance, if we got into like a perfect spot, I mean, it's not really a perfect spot. I really need to like try to understand these things better though. There's like getting into 3D. At least there's the opportunity that I can do that at this point. But yeah, you could save a camera view, I believe. Like if you go, yeah. So if I just pressed plus here, I would then be able to return to this view at another point. And so you could essentially like loop around through like a multitude of different views. I guess I didn't exactly like look through all the. Oh yeah, what was that other one? There was one called Match Image, because I've realized everything in the scene has got like a contextual button. Hmm. I don't know. I mean, that sun is modest color. I think at this point I've probably used so many colors that it doesn't know what to do without it. Anyway, that'll do for now. Thanks for watching.